Hi everybody, this is Christopher Moss from prointernetmarketing.co.uk, and this is video 1 in the series of how to make a website. So in this video series I want to discuss how to actually get from the stage of buying a domain and some web hosting and getting effectively from an idea in your head onto a site that's actually live on the internet. And I guess one of the trickiest things when I was starting out was figuring out what the difference between web hosting was and buying a domain. And I guess a lot of time, especially if you're sort of new to technology or IT or whatever, then you can find that these terms are, in some ways you think that they're all almost designed to confuse you. And I'm hoping to sort of get rid of some of that confusion in these videos. So I just want to start off and say that, you know, it can be a bit like chicken and the egg when you first register in a domain, because without a domain you can't really do anything with your hosting, and without your hosting you can't really do anything with your domain. So you need both, but at the same time, you know, you don't really know what you need when like I say, when you're first starting out. So I guess the best way to start off, and you've probably already thought of your domain at this point, but you're not really too sure how to do anything about that. So I'll show you how to register it, and then you need to have registered it really to do anything else in this video series. But we'll discuss that as we go through. So at the moment I've got Namecheap open, as you can see. Now this is who I use for all my domains. When I first started out, I actually used a different company. I got a free domain with my first web host, and I think I can't actually remember the name of the company. I think it was 123reg was my domain registrar. But ever since then, I've actually used Namecheap. I'll explain why as we go through. But the other big one on the net right now, I guess, is GoDaddy. I don't actually use them. I've never used them. There's a good reason for that. When I was first starting out, I read a thing on a forum. I was looking for information on which domain registrar to use, and GoDaddy came up as well as Namecheap. And the thing with GoDaddy was the guy that I was reading the information from had got a load of domains with them, but he'd had his account hacked or something like that, and somehow some of his domains had ended up transferred to someone else, and GoDaddy weren't willing to help him get them back. Put me straight off. But I'm sure Namecheap's got, you know, its problems too. It's just I've never had any trouble with them, touch wood. So like I say, I've got like 300 domains with these guys now, so I trust them, you know, with my business really. And it's actually a really straightforward and simple site to use. So I'll just go through. I mean, like I say, you've probably got an idea for a domain in your mind. So all you need to do is just, you know, go to namecheap.com. Make sure you choose the relevant extensions that you want to search, and then do your search. Now, quickly before this, because it can get quite tedious if you've got a good idea, like good idea as your domain, and you've been thinking about it for a few days and you've not actually checked it out as to whether it's been taken. It's all been taken, and that is so often the case, and it can be really frustrating. So I actually use a site called ajaxwhois.com. And what this site will do, you'll need to just click down here on edit. I've already been on this site once today, so I've been through this. But if you need to go on edit and then just add in the .co.uk, you'll need to put a comma .co.uk as the extension and just click OK, and then it'll pop up here. So if I add it in there just to show as an example what it'll do, .co.jp, which is a Japanese one. And then let's just see, it should have added in. It's going to make me look like a liar. Let's just refresh it. Maybe it won't allow me to do .co.jps. I don't know. Look at that, it's made me look like a fool. Oh well, I'm not going to go into it, but that is how it would work. Anyway, then you go you put in whatever good idea, and it's all not available, so then you can start making some variations on it, and you can also look into my keyword research tool video, which is prointernetmarketing.co.uk/market-samurai. that's a keyword tool which will help you actually choose domains and stuff, because you'll find that a lot of the times all the domains that you've got a good idea about are all taken, which is super annoying. So it's a terrible domain, but that's the domain that we're going with for this tutorial. So we just paste that in, and then we let it search, and it will come back with our costs. So there we go. Where's the .co.uk? So the .co.uk is actually $4.99 a year. That's dollars, so it's about £3 at the time that I'm doing this. Those you can also see all the different ones. You can also register more than one if you're feeling particularly extravagant. I generally don't recommend it. Maybe get the .com if it's available as well as the .co.uk. I generally only register .co.uk's and .coms. Register.co.uk is quite heavily these days, because if you're targeting British people or UK traffic, UK people, it's a good idea to have a .co.uk. I feel these days it's quite a solid domain. It's not like some of these others like .cm that no one's ever heard of, or .info, which is so often associated with spammers. So yeah, I stick to those two. Maybe a .net, maybe a .org. If you're an organisation that's a sort of charity or something like that, .orgs are all right. But yeah, stick to what you know, and I know .co.uk. So go with that. And then you come to this point. It's only allowing you to register for 2 years. Good news is this used to be about $7 or $8 a domain, so it used to be twice as expensive. But for some reason, Namecheap have dropped the prices for .co.uk's recently. This WhoIs guide is a bit weird. What this means is basically it doesn't really apply to .co.uk's, but WhoIs guide is well, as you can see, there's quite a few references to this WhoIs. What that is basically a service where you can find out who owns a domain. So if we go to Google and just type in WhoIs, we can go to whois.net and then type in a domain. So if we type in apple.com, we want to know exactly who owns this, and we can see that it's just don't know what happened there, but there you go. It's registered to Apple Inc. Blah blah blah. And these are the it's just the sort of like the yellow pages listings of who actually owns a domain. Now what WhoIs guide does is actually hides that. It will obfuscate that effectively and just put in some junk. It's not junk. It's actually legitimate data, but it hides the if you don't want to put your name and address on the internet, which is fair enough. That's a good little tool there that you can get. Now there is, if you are a UK based individual, and I say that as in the website that you're registering is like if I was going to register christophermoss.co.uk and it was going to be a website, say, about me and my dog or something like that, then I would be legitimately allowed to hide it anyway through a company called Nominet in the UK, I believe they're called. Let me just double check that again. And it's a free equivalent, Nominet. I'm sure it's Nominet. It is. And you log in there. It takes a couple of days actually after you've registered your domain, but you can then log in there and hide your details. But if you get a .com, if you register in a .com, you can actually use the WhoIs guide, and it will obfuscate it or hide your information at the point of purchase. So it can be quite useful if you want to hide your details. Now the other thing that I want to talk very quickly about is the coupon code. This is really cool. If I just quickly Google it, so go into Namecheap coupon, and you can see other people are already doing the same thing, 2011, and then we should find on here the coupon code which applies, and I've checked it out earlier this morning. It's Smile to Sun. So we apply it. So it's what's it saying at the moment? It's going to be $9.98 at the moment. If we apply it, what have we got? Have I already applied this? Got this number of items too. What's happening there? Not too sure. It's very don't know. Maybe it doesn't allow you to apply this to .co.uk's. Maybe they're already discounted. Let's just go back, and if we clear the cart, must not allow it. Sometimes, obviously, I mean, if it's if it's a cheap domain, I guess if you're getting a $4 domain, you're not going to get much discount from them. They're not the most cost effective. It's not that it's not. They've got to make a profit, I guess. So what was it? Best good idea, something like that. And then we'll apply this coupon code, and hopefully you will see that when you do a .com, you actually get some discount if you apply this. Now, I don't know what's going on. Coupon price $9.98. Right, so effectively you're getting what 88 pence off your domain, which doesn't sound like much, but if you've got a fair amount of domains that you're registering, it can certainly add up. So you're getting a decent price there ish. Just to prove that it's the same price at GoDaddy, we'll do a .com. It might even be more expensive over at GoDaddy. I'm not too sure. I don't use them. Bestgoodidea.com, £7.59, and over here it's $9.28. So I mean, if you want to, it's actually more expensive to register a .co.uk at GoDaddy as well. So yeah, I mean that's primarily why I use these guys. So just make sure that you get the latest coupon code, and then you've got the two choices there between Express Checkout and Checkout. Express Checkout is basically if you've used these guys before and you've already saved your credit card details with them. If you think about like when you use Amazon.com or .co.uk even, you can just sort of do like one-click checkout. Well, if you've got an account already with these guys, you can do Express Checkout, where you will find. Actually, let's just swap that down to pounds, and then we can see exactly how much. So let's just see. If we put them back in our smile to sun, we can then see exactly how much different it is between $5.57. So you're looking at what, £5.68 versus GoDaddy, where it's £7.59. So again, you can see straight away basically why I don't bother with GoDaddy. But there you go. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna close off this video and just say that to go anywhere else with this series, really, you're going to need to have registered a domain. But don't do anything once you have registered the domain, and please don't actually visit your web page at this stage. If you go like this and go to, once you've registered that domain and you open up your web page and you say your internet browser and you go to that Best Good Idea, it's actually the worst thing you can do, because although this Bing is a bit weird and it goes off and tries and finds it, the problem is it will actually sort of put your domain into something called DNS on the internet, which is like the domain name service, and it will like basically lock your website out for about 72 hours, which it's crazy. But like I say, please don't visit your web page when you first buy it. I'll explain more about that in the next video. But hopefully this has been helpful to you, and we'll see you in part 2.